Rich Rising. I'll be 31 weeks this week. And we're gonna check on Bean's progress. So 2 weeks ago we saw that she had a 2% growth increase, and if she reaches her 10th percentile, then everything's back to normal. Nothing to worry about whatsoever. And we just keep riding along into the 3rd trimester. So let's wish Bean luck. Let's hope she's sprouting big and bright in this womb carrier I'm transporting. Whew. I got a tinkle. So I'll be back with an update. Subscribe to my YouTube for my interpersonal vlogs of being pregnant and where I am in my journey. It is 2:35 p.m. I've been at the hospital since 10 this morning. Me and my bump, we've been here. When I say I'm so emotionally exhausted, I cried today on and off. I saw multiple doctors, and what I thought I was just going in for just the ultrasound, it turned out that I had to do other tests because of baby Bean's growth. And that's why I was crying off and on. So I just finished the last test, and I'm gonna need some time to, just take this in. Okay, welcome back. You're processing everything that went on yesterday. I was at the hospital for a really long time. And so this is what happened. I went for my ultrasound. It took like 2 hours to even be seen. I was on time. And I met up with a different MFM. I saw her the last time I was there, but she hasn't been the original person I've been seeing. I actually don't like when doctors do that, especially last minute. Like, can we create more consistency in the hospital? Like, I know people take days off and stuff, but it just brings comfort to know who, and when you build that rapport with somebody. But anywho, she did the scans, and towards the end she was like she's gonna have a doctor come in. Usually there's always a doctor present when the MFM is present. So before the doctor came in, she was like, based on what I was able to see, it looks like we've had a decrease in growth versus last time there was an increase in growth in her abdominal, in Bean's abdominal. So the fact that there was a decrease, it was an immediate alarm for me, because I'm like, why is there a decrease? She was just growing. So this is why she brought another doctor in to confirm what she was seeing in the ultrasound. So the doctor did come in, and I like her because she does explanations while she's doing the ultrasound exams versus the MFM. She just kind of is silent and not really talkative. So she's going over everything. The heart chamber's great, the placenta's great. She checks baby movement, she redoes the measurements for the legs, the stomach, and the head, and she confirms what the MFM saw was, yes, all the other body pieces are growing at the correct gestational rate, and unfortunately the abdominal, it looks like it decreased 3%, and we don't know why. So she had another doctor come in. I'm not sure if that was her specialty. It would have been nice if she asked me if I wanted somebody else's opinion, but the doctor came in and it seemed to have something to do with the veins. I don't really speak medical terms, but the doctor was like, yeah, I've never seen that before. And it was in like the heart chamber area. But they were like, the heart is doing fine. She's getting oxygen, she's getting blood. And so they said they're going to create a team panel for today to deliberate over what they saw, go over the scans, and just try to figure out why could this be happening. She then showed me a chart that shows like the growth. It was like an XY axis chart, and it was showing the growth of like an increasingly fast growing baby, like a normal rate of baby growth, and like where my baby was. And my baby wasn't too far from the normal growth rate of what she's supposed to be at. And so she did confirm that, like, hey, I'm not worried, for the simple fact that based on this curve, your kid is still growing on the curve. We should be worried if it went from a curve to just a straight line. And that I understood. I speak charts, I speak data, that I understood. So she was like, I'm comfortable with continuing, like, just monitoring you weekly, because there's nothing that we can do other than watch the growth and see if anything happens. She did say that pretty much expect delivery probably in between 37 and 39 weeks, which is typical, because at 37 weeks or after, you've reached the full growth period of gestational growth. Like, that's, the baby has grown. And probably she did not mention anything in regards of induction, which is good as well. Maybe because the last time I was there and they were talking about induction, it was just like a flat ass no, thank you, whatever, I just don't want to do that. And so, like, of course, I mean, that's what I'm expecting at 37 weeks. I'm getting ready to deliver. So I am glad and reassured that she is still growing, but it definitely was a miscarriage trigger, to be honest, because I mean, I have made it to the 3rd trimester. I don't believe she's going to be a preemie. Am I really the judge of that? No, but over here is faith over fear, right? So the fact that she is growing and all we can do is monitor her, I honestly don't think that I'm getting enough protein. After speaking with the midwives last week, their expectation is for me to be eating like 80 grams of protein a day. And I know I'm not doing that. And coming from a vegan, vegetarian diet, I can honestly say that a lot of my protein was coming from beans, avocados, things like that, and a lot of my diet was also carbs, so pasta, which doesn't really have protein in it. It's really hard to curb that switch, because I don't eat, well, since I've been pregnant, I have been eating meat, but I don't eat enough meat to like make that 80 grams. So that's my hypothesis, that I'm not eating enough protein. Even though I started taking protein shakes, like those Ensure shakes, I just don't think that it's been enough. And so, having miscarriages before, I do have a little anxiety. It did make me sad. It did make me instantly cry. I was also at the doctor by myself, which also, as a doula, I'm used to being there for other people, but when you're going through it, sometimes just having that support from someone else, it can make a complete difference. And her father called, Bean's father called, and because he's definitely concerned as well, but it's different from having someone with you versus not with you, and just to hold you carry some of that weight. So I just needed to process that for myself, and I say this in good faith and heart, that what made me ground myself was just knowing that, like, there's preemie babies born, and even though they don't fully grow to the full gestational period that they were meant to, they grow, they're still born healthy, they're still healthy babies at the end of the day. And so I just had to ground myself with that, because this isn't the end of the journey. My baby moves, she's kicking, and so they pretty much mentally prepped me a few weeks ago that, you know, if the growth is still like wavering or questionable, that they're going to have me do an ATP test. And it's pretty much 2 belts that wrap around your stomach with these circle ultrasound monitors, and they're monitoring the movement of being, they're monitoring the sound waves of the heartbeat of being, they're monitoring the sound waves of the placenta. And I honestly, after going through the process, I feel like the ultrasound gives way more plausible physical, like, you can see what's wrong or like what they're doing. And so it's just frequencies, and it's kind of bothers me because I'm like, that's a lot of frequency waves to be attached to. And the testing took about an hour. I was in the room with other moms. I don't know what they're specifically there for, but I just assume, because that's what I'm there for, that that's probably what's happening. So I ended up taking a nap. They want me to stop by twice a week. I just don't know if that's possible. I don't stay near the hospital at all, and just that travel back and forth, it's just not, it's about an hour away, no lie, there and back. So to do that twice a week, even though it's for a good cause to check, I can't personally see. I've already been kind of going every week, and that's been exhausting. And I kind of have hospital anxiety, which is a thing from hearing birth stories, from watching documentaries, like even my own personal experience. It's like every time I go in, it's something traumatic. Not to the worst extent, but you get what I mean. So that's what happened at yesterday's appointment. And when I did the ATP, they said everything looked fine, nothing to worry about, just try to come back so they can do more monitoring. So check in with me next week. I'll drop another video, and I'll see you beautiful, positive people later. Keep being in your prayers.